The average Malaysian drinks 2.38 cups of coffee a day. And with coffee being a $1 billion industry in Malaysia, that explains why we now have over 3,330 local coffee outlets. And among these brands that you most likely already know, this company stands out from the rest. With genius marketing and timely execution, an annual revenue of more than 200 million ringgit, they now have over 600 stores open in just 5 years, which is already more than the once universally loved Starbucks coffee. Now, the question is, how exactly did they do that? Let's roll back time into the colonial days in the late 1800s. Historically, Malaysia was more of a tea drinking nation. Ever been to the Boh Tea Plantation in Cameron Highlands? Yeah, that was founded by a British guy in 1929. However, coffee wasn't far behind. In the late 19th century, the first wave of coffee culture in Malaysia began brewing when the Hainanese Chinese community introduced the iconic Kopitiam culture in Malaysia, serving rich Nanyang-style coffee with our beloved kaya butter toast and half-boiled eggs. And man, that's a champion breakfast combo, right? And then in 1998, everything changed. The second wave of coffee began when Starbucks landed in Malaysia. Suddenly, coffee wasn't just a drink, it was an experience. We were introduced to fancy lattes, caramel macchiatos, frappuccinos, somehow got light, medium and dark roasted beans and whatever that is. The cafes also weren't just a place to buy coffee anymore. They became hangout spots, remote offices, and even places for group studies. Yeah, those were the good old days. And fast forward today, in the post-COVID era, the coffee scene has evolved again. With the rise of homegrown brands like ZUS Coffee, GG and Basbear, more Malaysians are now enjoying specialty brews, quick app-based orders, and also local-inspired flavors. This shift, what many call the third wave of coffee, not only accelerated the growth of local coffee chains, but also attracted big international names like Kenangan Coffee from Indonesia and also the recently one, Luckin Coffee from China. For years, Starbucks seemed unstoppable. It wasn't just about caffeine, it was a brand, a lifestyle, a flex. Having a Starbucks cup in your hand, it meant something. But what if I told you Starbucks Malaysia isn't actually owned by Starbucks US? Instead, it's run by Berjaya Food, a subsidiary of Berjaya Corporation Berhad. Yes, the same company behind Sports Toto. Remember that 121 million ringgit jackpot? That's them. So how does this work? Simple, one word, licensing. Berjaya pays to use the Starbucks name, but they control everything else. Store openings, pricing, local menus, even how much you pay for a caramel macchiato. That's why we have the Pandan Gula Melaka Frappuccino, something you won't find in the US. And for years, this model worked flawlessly for them. Starbucks was the king of premium coffee. Well, that is until things started to go wrong in 2024 when conflicts escalated in the Middle East and suddenly American brands like McD and Starbucks found themselves in the center of a massive boycott. Many Malaysians stopped buying coffees from them due to their perceived links to Israel, even though Starbucks Malaysia is technically a local business employing only Malaysians. This led to a massive decline in Berjaya Foods revenue as it shrank by 33% in 2024, which gave them a negative bottom line for the first time in many years, alongside a decline of over 40% in their share price year over year. Wow, that's gotta hurt. Now, before that, I'd like to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Moomoo. They are a regulated and licensed platform that supports fractional shares trading for US stocks and ETFs, where you can set automatic recurring investments via their regular savings plan, RSP, which helps you to invest a fixed dollar amount of money every set interval. Perfect to start practicing dollar cost averaging, DCA, a tried and trusted strategy in the world of investing. Starting at just a minimum of $5, you have all the freedom to choose any frequency which you like to invest, be it daily, weekly or monthly, and you can also adjust, pause or delete your RSP at any time you want, so your investments can literally be set once and done. No need to keep placing your trades every now and then. The fee structure for this is super cheap. Only less than $1 if you buy less than one share, Anything more than that, they will charge an additional 0.03% commission fee. So it's still super cheap as compared to whatever that is being offered by other stockbrokers. And if it's fractional shares, it's even cheaper. No commissions for trades less than 1 share and a platform fee of just 0.99% of the transaction amount, capped at a maximum of just 99 US cents. It's as cheap as it can go already. Oh, by the way, Starbucks and the next coffee chain we're gonna talk about, Luckin Coffee, are also publicly listed as well. So if you're curious about their financials and stock performance, you know where to go. Quickly, that was it with my exclusive code Z11, that's Z11, to get amazing standard rewards while the campaign lasts. Alright, let's get back to the video. And fast forward in time, at risk of stating the obvious, ZUS Coffee is now the leading coffee brand. And in fact, in just over 5 years' time, they have already overtaken Starbucks, which has been here for decades. ZUS currently has around 610 stores in Malaysia, while Starbucks has only 300 plus stores. Even crazier, ZUS started just 4 months before COVID-19, when businesses were shutting down left and right. That's insanely fast growth. But wait, how did they grow so fast despite facing so many competition? Well, aside from the obvious boycott, which, let's be objective, they did profit massively from the support local movement, I would be biased to say if there aren't any other reasons that contributed to the rapid rise to where they are today. First, and probably the deal breaker here, is the price. Let's be real, coffee used to be expensive. If you wanted a decent latte, a cup of Starbucks or coffee beans would easily cost you around 14 ringgit. But then, ZUS came in and you can now get a latte for just 9 ringgit 90 cents. And coupled with a support local movement, let's just say it's a game of high volume and low cost, and they played it perfectly. Now, why is Starbucks and coffee beans so expensive? Well, you're not just paying for the coffee, remember, but you're also paying for the cozy vibe, comfy seats, and also maybe premium services. But was it necessary though? Do you really need that experience every single day just to grab your daily coffee fix? No, right? And that brings me to my second point, ZUS grab and go coffee concept with super accessible locations. Here's the thing, before ZUS Coffee, do we have any major grab and go coffee chains at this scale in Malaysia? Not really, right? I mean, there were some smaller setups, but nothing as big, structured and widespread as ZUS Coffee. And it's not just that, with the ZUS app, you can order your coffee anywhere and pick it up at a location near you. Last time, if you wanted a Starbucks coffee delivered, most of the time we would order through Grab, and to be honest lah, the price of one drink combined with the delivery fee can get you a decent meal already. But ZUS Coffee, they offer free delivery with a minimum spend. Speaking of location, they are literally everywhere as well. In universities, right below your office building, inside shopping malls, you name it, they probably are there. And now they have even expanded beyond cafes. Canned coffee, instant coffee, drip bags, everywhere you go, you see ZUS Coffee. They really did make coffee become a necessity, not a luxury like Starbucks. You gotta give it to them for that. And let's not forget that COVID-19 changed everything. Remember when we couldn't even sit in a cafe to enjoy our coffee? That forced people to get used to grabbing their coffee and start going, or just ordering online instead. This shift in habit made grab and go the new norm, and ZUS rode that wave perfectly. But here's the ultimate question, how do they expand so fast? Isn't it expensive to do so? Well, unlike most startups that rely on big investors, ZUS bootstrapped its growth and relied on their own earnings from the start, and only raised external funds for the first time in 2023 to expand outside of Malaysia. They kept their costs very low by setting up compact kiosk-style stores instead of large cafes, and their rapid expansion was fueled by strong operational efficiency and bulk purchasing power, meaning they get cheaper raw materials as compared to smaller competitors. In fact, do you know that the cost to open a ZUS store is only 20% of what it takes to launch a Starbucks outlet? Which explains why they have been able to expand so aggressively. Plus, with their forecasting and demand planning, they optimize how much coffee they need at any given time, reducing waste and keeping costs low. And that my friends, is how they keep their costs low while staying profitable as a fast-growing startup. Something easier said than done. Wait a minute, how do they manage to forecast demand so accurately? Well, that's because they can read your mind and predict what you like to drink. I mean, okay, just kidding. But seriously, it's all thanks to their own ZUS app that I've mentioned earlier. Do you know that around 50% of ZUS transactions actually come from their app? And because of this, they collect personalized data. They see what you like, when you order, and even your favorite drink modifications. Have you noticed a certain few flavors kept coming back again after their initial trial phase? Well, in a way, their menu isn't just some random seasonal launches, it's a demand-driven cycle, shaped by what customers actually love to drink. And of course, we can't forget their local adaptation either, one of the keys to their success. On top of localized flavors like ZUS Gula Melaka Latte, Tarik Milk Latte, and more, ZUS Coffee is halal certified as well. While a cup of coffee seems to have nothing to do with halal status, the way your coffee is processed, from bean sourcing, roasting to final preparation, they all actually matter, especially in a Muslim majority country like Malaysia. Yes, Starbucks is halal certified as well, but according to the official local halal portal, Luckin Coffee has yet to secure its certification, so that will definitely be slowing their growth until then. Speaking about them, Luckin is definitely here to challenge ZUS Coffee status as a #1 coffee brand in Malaysia. Founded in China in 2017, Luckin now has only 6 stores in Malaysia for now, but globally they have opened, surprise, around 22,000 stores in just over 8 years. And if you compare them head-on with ZUS, that is about 20 times more outlets open per unit of time. Super aggressive, and they are literally everywhere in China. And as with most Chinese brands like BYD and 𝗵𝗱, Luckin doesn't just enter a market, they flood it. In China, they undercut every competitor with crazy low prices and ultra-fast store openings. If they bring that same playbook here, ZUS might just have a real problem. But while Luckin floods markets with ultra-low prices, let's not forget, ZUS was actually the first to successfully localize this business model for Malaysia. Just like how Grab outplayed Uber by understanding local needs, or Shopee and Lazada adapted Amazon's playbook, ZUS did the same by catering to Malaysian taste buds, convenience, and also the support local movement. So, what's next for ZUS Coffee? Even with a 5-year head start in Malaysia, will they suffer the same fate as Tea Life when 𝗵𝗱 enters the market, or will the support local movement be enough to hold their ground over here? But as with any business, ZUS isn't invincible. Their reliance on their own earnings and slower overseas expansion means they might not scale as aggressively as Luckin Coffee, and that might just come back to bite them in the future. Well, regardless, as coffee bean prices are increasing, having more competition can actually benefit us as a consumer. Wider selection of coffee at a lower price point? Why not, right? So, who's got your vote? Are you sticking with our local coffee champion ZUS Coffee, or are you curious to try out Luckin's budget-friendly coffee empire? Comment down below, ZUS or Luckin, and tell me which brand you think will dominate Malaysia in 5 years' time. Let's see who predicts it right. And while you're scrolling down, don't forget to use my link down below to check out Moomoo, the one-stop platform for you to trade local and also international stocks. Thanks for watching. Now, the real question is, who's going to finish all this coffee? So many.